Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. And both Microsoft and Sony have done their presentations, and it is a fairly dim situation for Nintendo. I think we knew we were going to be in the situation. Um, I think Microsoft did a good job with their presentation. I think that they talked about playing on Windows 10 and Xbox. Um, I think they did very well in that regard. Um, some of the games they showed were very cool. The new Slim version looks very nice. Um, and I think it's very interesting. Now, I think Sony did a fantastic job. I think they showed off all the games that people sort of wanted to see. It was just game trailer after game trailer. I think the only sore point was that a lot of these games are still being made. And I think that some people were hoping to see maybe some more release dates from them. I would have liked to see some release dates or something like that. So it'll be very interesting. I did like the God of War game, which is good, and all that sort of thing, and a few little games here and there. The Last Guardian, obviously, October 25th for Nintendo fans who do have other consoles too. So it's really interesting, and of course the Project Scorpio by Microsoft is the big thing. There it looks like a very powerful console, and could have a very heavy price tag in Australia, and I'm not too sure people are going to buy into it. I get this feeling. I get this sort of feeling that with the way that Xbox is doing this is that they'll have the cheap model that we have now, then they'll have the slim, and they'll have like this ultra 4K gaming sort of thing. So you've got three options in a way, and they'll just sort of upgrade it. And a fourth one will come out, and the original one will disappear. So I think that's the way that Microsoft will do it. I think with Sony, they're yet to reveal their Neo console, the PS4K. Who knows what sort of specs that will have. And but a lot of the talk was about VR, and it looked very enticing with Star Wars and Batman and things like that. So I think they'll definitely get some interested people. But it's going to come out for $400 and probably $500 here in Australia. So you will have to spend about $1,000 in order to use VR, and that really depends on the interest of people and their budgets and what they can afford, and if it's worth it or not. The games are out, and I think things like Star Wars would definitely help, and I think Final Fantasy and games like that will be very helpful. So it's up to Nintendo, or really the Legend of Zelda, to try to pull something out of its hat. This game has been in development for ages. We don't know what the Legend of Zelda will really entail, but my God, if any pressure has been put upon, and we've seen other great games, waiting for games like Half-Life 3 and of course The Last Guardian, but if there was so much pressure put on the Legend of Zelda, it is crazy. To knock it out of the park. It needs to be like a Super Mario 64 once in a generational thing, or an Ocarina of Time, or it needs to get like a Twilight Princess reaction sort of from the trailer. Like, it needs to generate some sort of fucking miracle, and I don't know if it can do that or not. So who knows? I'm crossing my fingers and toes. It's still another 12 and a half hours. I've had some decent amount of sleep. You can tell that I'd even shave off the old growing beard here for the presentation and keep the old Zelda hat on for good luck. Oh, the light comes back on a bit. So tell me what you think about the Sony Microsoft stuff. I'm sure that people are very excited, and it's going to be interesting, to say the least. So that is it from me, and fingers crossed the Legend of Zelda for the Wii U and this next new console does something. I'll see you later on.